with just a couple passes, you were able to, through a little bit of grass and weeds and stuff, just a couple passes, you can break that all right up and prepare a perfect seed bed or seed or sod. For doing a small like seed or sod job like this thing is a huge labor saver. I mean, this whole area right here, look at this, it's perfect. It's loose, it's broken up, it's perfectly ready for seed. This thing, just on this job alone, would save a ton of raking, a ton of handwork. We still got our guys raking over here, but we don't even really, it's a little bit around the edges, but we don't even hardly need them anymore. They could go to a different job and do something else in these open areas. I mean, this stuff is absolutely perfect. You can see it's so loose and broken up. It's absolutely perfect for seed. That thing works incredibly. You got a little bit of grass. You got a little bit of grass or weeds. Go over a time or two, and it breaks it right up. You can see we got the S70 up here as well. It will fit on that, so we want to get on this MT85 just to try it out. This thing is it rips. So right here we've got some kind of clumpy, heavy clay. Let's see what this. See how wet and clumpy this stuff is. That thing just powers right through it, loosen it up, and then we'll put an inch or two of topsoil over it, and it'll be perfect. You can hear right there the really wet and heavy stuff. It definitely knows it's working. It's working a little harder, but it still goes right through it, loosens it right up. So this was a project that we did last year that we started, and then it got so late in the fall, all this was so wet that we weren't able to get in here and grade it. So we're back this spring to grade it out, topsoil, and seed it. Yeah, I mean, like over here, all these big areas, like there's zero hand raking out here in these big areas. Like this thing, for small stuff like this, it's a game changer. You'll have a better seed bed, and it's be less physical labor. Talk about efficiency. Spread coming this way and then going back, Harley raking it. You can't do, if you were to use a regular bucket, you'd have to come and spread it all first and then go over with the Harley rake. With this thing, with it integrated right in the back of it, spread this way, back that way. That's what I would call efficiency right there. About 10 minutes in this little open area. What's your first impression on this thing?
Gage is a little nervous on camera, as are many, so bear with me on this one.
I think it works pretty well with grading and back dragging.
Is it easy to get the hang of?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Have you found is it easier to use the bar in the back going forward or backwards?
Backwards makes it look way better, but
And then that way you don't leave any tracks or anything?
Yeah, forward you can't really see the cutting edge very well on this, so.
Just because you're so far back?
Yeah.
Right. Would you think this is more efficient than like instead of having a bucket and a Harley rake here? Because I mean you got to go over it all and then come back to Harley rake, like here where you were buzzing down there, dumping it, and then Harley raking back.
Right.
I mean that's like you're not wasting any time. I mean, it's right there. It's like you could have. I mean, I feel like this is, I'm sure, this is way cheaper than buying a dirt bucket and I mean, everyone has a dirt bucket, but buying a Harley rake and then having to carry two, where this is, a one-stop shop. For like a little job like this, think how much labor this is saving. Like how long would it take you guys to spread all this and to hand rake out this whole thing? Like you'd be here hours.
Right.
And it wouldn't even be as good of a job. Like you're not gonna rake this far deep and get it perfectly smooth. And like this topsoil was super wet yesterday, so it's pretty clumpy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty wet and clumpy. Yeah, this thing breaks it right up. Would you want to go without this thing now?
Not on big projects, probably not. No.
Right. We have another project just like a mile from here. We're in Monticello right now. As Six said, this one we weren't able to finish last year because it was too wet. We have another project right across the road. Remember that black one where we got to go back and till up the backyard and sod it. So I mean, this will be perfect. Think how much labor this will save back there. It's fenced in. You'll be able to cruise right through with this. Get back there and like, you're gonna save a ton of labor there too. You don't even now these guys can go do something else. I mean, it's nice to have one guy probably to rake around the edges. But I mean, even if you had to, even when you were done, you could even jump off and do that quick.
Right.
But, so yeah, I mean, for overall first impression is
good.
Huge labor saver, pretty easy to get the hang of.
Yeah.
We'll try it too. I just want to try it on the MT because it's originally meant for. It fits on the S70 good too, so we'll throw it on there and get a little footage of that too. But for dirt, like if it's wet at all, the track's gonna be a lot better. But I mean, if you already have an S70, it'll definitely work on there. Just two simple hydraulic hookups, which are super easy to connect and disconnect. Overall, pretty simple. You can hold quite a bit too. What'd you say? Probably around a half a yard, probably.
Yeah.
With that bucket full of like pretty heavy dirt, does the machine handle it okay?
The bucket's pretty heavy itself, actually.
So if you get that thing plumb full, I mean, they can definitely tell you're carrying it.
It's a little tippy then, but
not too bad. All right. So yesterday my camera battery died before I was able to get any more footage at the second site that we went to for the day. Worked really well. Now we're gonna hook up to the S70, throw in the hydro bucket, and over here we got some really uneven ground. It's all rutted up from where we've been driving on it, where it gets wet. So I'm gonna hook up the bucket to this thing and go over there and level it all out. I'll show you guys how it works on the S70. If it's really wet and muddy, you're better off with the tracks, like any grading in general. But if you're like resurfacing like an area where it's all rutted up, or you have like a little driveway, or if it's somewhat firm, then the S70 will works perfect. But I mean, either or, whatever you got, it'll work on. But preferably tracks in the dirt if it's wet at all, and then the S70, it works too. So let's hook her up and see what she does. One thing to mention is that they recently, you can see here, it's just two hydraulic lines. It's just two hydraulic lines that run down to this little pump here. And I guess they used to be a chain driven, but you know how a chain is, it's constantly stretching, it's constantly got to be adjusted and tightened, which is extremely annoying. So I recently went to like a hydraulic pump, and now it's all hydraulic. So that's really good. Less maintenance, less breakdowns long term, you know, if you have one of these for a long time. So that's a big plus that they recently, I think this is only, he said they've only made a handful of them this way, and so far it's been working out great. All right, let's go over here and see if we can level out our parking area here. You can see it's pretty much just like a Harley rake. It's like a bar with a carbide teeth on it. It's all hydraulic. So this is the Hydro Bucket from CMP. This thing, like you can see here, this grade, it's absolutely perfect. See how loosened up it is? How loosened and level it is. If you carry a little bit of material with you at a time, then it fills any voids. I mean, all this is perfectly smooth in a matter of a few seconds. And then out here, we drive on this with 10, 12 vehicles every single day. Very, very heavily compacted. It's like hard as a rock. And it's, I mean, it's loosened it right up. You can see it. It loosened it right up and chews right through it. So it's a little S70 with 24 horse Kubota, no high flow or nothing. I mean, you don't need high flow. It's nice, but you definitely don't have to have it. But yeah, so like soil conditioning a small driveway area. I mean, it's about 4. I don't remember the exact measurements. Like soil conditioning a small driveway, spreading topsoil, huge labor saver. I honestly don't know how we went without one. This thing's gonna save a lot of time and labor in the future. So we're excited to use it. So thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Let me know what you think of this bucket. Let me know if you have any experiences with one. If you want to look for one for yourself, you can try, like around here, central Minnesota, you can try Lano Equipment or Vico. Wherever you are, I'm sure they can get one shipped to you. So if you're interested in buying one, look them up. It's CMP Attachments. They make all kinds of good stuff. They make grapples, everything. They really make really good attachments local here to central Minnesota. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate it if you'd share this video. And remember, in order to get results no one else is getting, you must do things no one else is doing. Thanks. Peace.
Oh, and the S70N Hydro Bucket also works good for pulling black sheep skid maneuvers.